This video is an introduction into Python debugging, and I want to start from scratch from using of PDB. PDB stands for just Python Debugger, and it's a part of Python standard library. We can use it since we got Python. No need to install or import something. So, why debugging? Because debugging helps us to examine the state of a running program. We can experiment with it. We can change values of variables, we can call functions with different arguments, we can run snippets of code and so on. It's much more powerful than usual prints, and it gives a different picture than testing. Our tests just indicate that our code is not working as we are expecting, but debugging allows us to see what's happening during the execution of our program. Okay, let's start. I got here a very basic Python script. Just an if main statement, and here I defined a list of dictionaries. And each dictionary represents a student with a name, surname, age and course keys. Then there is the print reports function call. In the print reports function is a for loop that prints a report for each statement. And that's it. Let's run the script. And we got an exception that says that there is no the course key, obviously in a dictionary. This is my starting point. It's very simple artificial example, and I'm going to look at the code through the PDB, through the Python Debugger. And so let's run the PDB. Python-m, that stands for module, I need PDB, and then the name of the script I want to debug, main.py. And we got into a shell. Here we can see these two lines. The first line contains the path to the Python module we're debugging at the moment. This is main.py. The number inside parentheses is the line number where execution stopped. It's the line number 3. Here, it's the first line of the script. And this arrow from the left points to where it's about to run. This line, def report student, was not executed yet, it's just about to run. This arrow is saying something like, this line I will run next. And so the object of the report function is not created yet, and the report name is not defined. Name error, name report is not defined. And now it's assumed that we have to use some PDB commands to move through the running script. So to look around to get where we are, we can use the last command or just L. It shows 10 lines. Usually it shows 5 lines before the place where we stopped and 5 lines after. But in this case the code started from the third line, and so it's just shown 10 lines from the first one. Right now the execution of the script is stopped, and I'm going to execute the code further. And there are several ways to do it. The first is the next command, next line. When we use next command, PDB will jump to the next line without entering into function calls. I pressed the N, and we can see that the execution jumped to the definition of the next function, print reports. Line number 10. I pressed Ctrl L to clear the screen. If I hit N again, and we get to the if statement. PDB remembers the last command, and so we can just press Enter to repeat it. And I got the definition of the students variable. The students list contains 4 dictionaries, and the students variable will be created after the creation of all 4 dictionaries. The 4 next commands will be the creation of dictionaries, elements of the list. but I'd like to add more space between my inputs and the outputs of PDB, because this wall of text is hard to follow. And I'd like to create a simple alias to the print statement that will print an empty line. To create an alias, we need the alias command, alias. Then I have to specify the name of the alias, a trigger. Let's say it'll be just a point. Then I have to use the exclamation mark. Exclamation mark lets PDB know that the following statement will be a Python command and not a PDB command. So I'm calling the print statement without arguments, and that's it. Alias is created, and now each time I use the dot, the print function will be called. To list all aliases, just input the alias command without arguments. And to keep this alias, I want to put it into the pdbrc file. So I'm opening another terminal, and I want to create the .pdbrc file. Tilde means the home directory, pdbrc. alias dot print, and that's all. And now let's quit from PDB with the q command and start it again. Dot, and I got an empty line. The alias is working. Okay, let's back to our script. I hit N again, and again, and again, to the place we stopped last time. Please notice how it's not convenient to press N so many times, even for this simple and very small script. So, the student dictionaries. The first element of the list, then the second one, third, fourth. I hit N again, and we are at the students variable, because the value of the list of dictionaries is created in memory, and now it's about to be assigned to the students variable, and after that the students variable will be created. I hit enter one more time, and the next is the print reports function call. At this point we can look at the students variable, because it was created. pstudents, or pp, that stands for pretty print students, and the p is just print. Pretty print is much more clear, very convenient for large dictionaries and lists. I am pressing N one more time. We can see two prints and a key error. I am pressing N one more time, and the output this time is a bit different. We got the return. It stands for returning value of the function. In this case, we are at the module level, and the print reports function returned none. More about an implicit return of none seen in my Python tutorial video. So we are running our code inside of PDB, and so to complete the execution, I have to press N, next command, a couple of times more. And this time we got a full Python traceback about our exception, and a notification. Uncaught exception entering post mortem debugging. Post mortem is a great feature. Python raises the key error exception, and our program is terminated. And post mortem mode makes a step back to the place where the exception occurred. And we can see this line. PDB main py, line 6, report function. And the error points to the line that is about to run. Let's press L for full picture. L. We are inside the report function. And the first wish of each developer is to see arguments the function got. To look at the arguments of a function, we can call the args commands or just a. And we can see that the student's variable, the argument the report function got last, is a dictionary without the course key, name, surname, age, and there is no course key. Or we can print the student variable as usual, student or just pstudent. And this is the answer to our question, what was wrong with the code? So let's move on. I pressed Q, the main py file is restarted, and I want to get to the report function again, but I don't want to press N command, N button 150 times. To get to the needed place quickly, we can set a breakpoint. To set it, we can use the break command or just B, that stands for breakpoint. Without arguments, the B command will list all set breakpoints. We have no one. Okay, let's say I want to set a breakpoint to the report function just before the return keywords. It's the line 7. I need this line, and the execution will be stopped here at the line 7. So B7. The breakpoint is set, and to jump right to the breakpoint we have to press the C command, continue command. C. And we got here at the line 7 at the report function. Let's look around. The B letter stands for breakpoint. Let's print the student variable. Gilmore. Okay, next. The print reports function that call the report function uses a for loop, and so the report function should be called 4 times. So I am pressing C again. We're here again. Let's print the student variable, waters this time. Then let's call continue again. And this time I got the exception and got to post mortem mode. Student, Nick Mason, age 13, without the course key. Okay, we got the answer again. But it's tedious too to print the variable each time we get into breakpoint, and there should be a better way to do it. And we can use the commands command. So let's quit on the PDB, Q, let's run PDB again. And by the way, if you want to restart PDB but you want to keep all breakpoints, use the restart command. So let's create a breakpoint B7. Okay, and now let's input the commands. And we got into a shell inside PDB, com. Here we can write the commands we need to run each time execution will get to the breakpoint. For example, let's say I want to see all arguments and some local variable. The problem was with the course key, so let's print the course variable. The report function has the course local variable, p course. And to exit the commands shell, just input end command. And we got back to PDB shell. And we just created a watch list. I hit C, continue, and get to the breakpoint. By the way, my aliases didn't work. And I got the arguments of the function and the local variable course Python. C again. This time the student is waters and it got JavaScript. Let's press C again and we got the exception. but we don't see the arguments and the value of the local variables. So probably it would be better idea to set the breakpoint at line 6 here. Nevertheless, we got into the post mortem debugging, and we can just print student variable and get the argument that the report function got the last. Then, what if we want to step into function calls? To do it, we can use the step command or just s. PDB runs and displays each line of the code. Okay, we got here in the report function the line number 5 before the surname definition. But what if I want to get back to the print report function because I forgot to check something? What I have to do? First of all, we can use the where command. It's a stack trace, it's a list of function calls at any given moment of time. Almost like a traceback that we get when an error occurs. But we can go through it up and down and examine what was happening in each function. Using the U shortcut for up command, we can get up in the stack trace to the previous caller. Now we are in the print reports function. Before the call of the report function and passing the student, we can look at the student's variable. To get back, press D, down command. And please notice that PDB remembers where we stopped last time. We get back exactly to that place, right before the surname definition. If you need the usual Python shell to do something, you can get it by using the interact command. We are in interactive mode. To get back to PDB, just press Ctrl D shortcut. What else can be useful? We can set breakpoints with conditions that will stop execution if the condition is met. For example, breakpoint at line 7, comma, and I want to stop if the course will be equal to JavaScript. Stop only if course equals to JavaScript. Okay, C command, continue. We are at the report function, name Roger Waters, and the course is JavaScript. Actually, it were basic concepts of debugging with almost any debugger, because all debuggers are the same. If you like this Python debugging tutorial with the Python PDB, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.